Hey guys, it's Jesse from AnalogHype.com, and I'm joined here by roll7's Tom Hegarty to discuss their upcoming Vita exclusive OlliOlli. Thank you for joining me, Tom.
Yeah, no worries. Good to be on here.
So, you guys just got back from E3, and from what you've said, you guys had a lot of traffic at E3. Can you kind of to the listeners who didn't actually go or haven't actually seen any footage of OlliOlli, can you explain the concept to them?
Okay, sure. So, OlliOlli is a 2D skateboarding game. So it's left to right. When people first look at it, they think Infinite Runner, but it's very much that isn't the case. It's a predefined set of levels and stages, and you have to kind of trick and combo your way through each level. So there's going to be a series of challenges that help you skill up, and a series of challenges that kind of add to that replayability. So it's yeah, as I say, first look looks quite simple, but it's actually got a really deep trick system that lets you kind of level up as you go through the game.
Okay. Okay, that sounds interesting actually. Kind of like a different take on things. And
Yeah.
where did this vision come from?
Okay, so the the vision actually came from John Ribbons, who's our creative director. He has skateboarded his entire life. Actually, 66.6% of the directors of roll7's skate. There's three of us, and two of them skate. But John, when he was younger, was actually a sponsored skateboarder as well by a clothes company here in the UK. And his two passions were skateboarding and games, and well, kind of still are, to be honest. But when he was 13, he kind of thought, oh, I'd love to do a 2D skateboarder, but with that kind of, the trick system. But I think back in the day, California Games on the half pipe, that kind of stuff. And we didn't really do anything about it for a long time, probably about 15 years. And then last year we kind of set about, what do we want to make? What do we want to demo concept? And OlliOlli was in there. And of the games we prototyped, it was, the runaway success internally here at the studio. We're like, right, this is the one we need to push.
Hmm. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. Now, like, I know Tony Hawk and Skate were some of the more popular skating games back when I was a kid. Was there any like influence from the Tony Hawk series, or are you gonna have any homages from either the Tony Hawk or the Skate series in OlliOlli?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They are heavy influences, and I think everyone here can say they would have done a lot better at school had Tony Hawk not been around at the same kind of time, and university even as well. It was a serious time drain. But I think particularly the trick system, I think, is something that's kind of influenced from those. The fact that being able to perform this multiple number of tricks in this kind of the environments that it provided for you. And so what we've kind of taken from there, that trick system, what we've kind of added, and what we feel the hook to our game is, what we hope the hook will be, is the landing and grind mechanics. So our game's all about timing. So you can do the most ludicrous combo, the most crazy tricks, and chain them all together. But your points are based on how well you land, and the land is all about timing. You basically need to press X just before you land, or pull the analog stick down just before you grind. The better timed you are at that, the better score you get.
Okay, it kind of adds that like more advanced nature to the game. You can't just kind of pick it up and play and just keep going and going and going.
No, and it kind of we're really trying to reward risk, and at the same time emulate skateboarding. So in terms of rewarding risk, the later you pull that land out, the more tricks you do, the better score you're going to get. But in doing that, you're more likely to slam.
Hmm. Okay. Wow, that's definitely a kind of a different approach to things, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we noticed from E3 was people slammed a lot. I mean, we knew they were going to anyway, but it was interesting watching, some people get frustrated, but that kind of, the eureka moment where they work out, I've got to press X. That's what gets me the points. That's what gets me landing.
Okay. And can we expect like any trophies from the game? Or not just
Yes.
trophies, but like platinum trophies, maybe?
Yes, we get asked this a lot. At the moment, I'm afraid I can't give you a definitive answer. We've basically been given, obviously an allocation of points that we can distribute among them. So we're just working that out with Sony at the moment, but I'll let you know as soon as we do. But we've got some ideas about, if we can get one, what it might be, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of grinding and a lot of slamming to get there.
So only the best of the best would be able to get it.
Indeed, yeah. We'd like to think so, or just people who just play it for hours and hours and hours.
All right. In the past, we've seen like a lot of Vita developers use both the back touch and the front touch screen in like a lot of unique and individualized ways. What ways, if in any, are you guys using either of the devices?
Sure. Okay, so when we actually first pitched to Sony, we wanted to actually use the back screen quite a bit. So the idea was you'd perhaps use your index finger on the right to kind of touch the back screen, and that would propel you along. That would be your kick. And as we've developed, we've kind of realised that it adds an element to the game that for us it just didn't quite work, and it just felt like we were using it for the sake of it. So we did have a chat with the guys at Sony Europe and just said, look, we know obviously we need to be promoting the Vita features, but we just feel in this case it's not quite working. And they were kind of cool with that. So, I mean, at E3 as well, I got to play a lot of the other Vita games, and, we've got some other here that we've played, and I can see, sometimes it's so nice when people get the front touch screen and back screen right. It's a really nice experience, but for us it was, it's still kind of, we've got that arcade action, just sticking to the analog stick and a couple of buttons works for us. It's a simple game with a kind of, but once you get into it, it's got a really deep trick system.
But yeah, it sounds perfect. I mean, in my experience personally, just like sometimes things that require the back touch screen, it's kind of more or less inconvenient because my finger is usually resting directly on the thing.
Yeah, exactly. It was a case of, it's such a fast-paced game that if you've got your hand around the back of the Vita and you're doing a jump, then you have to bring it back around to press X. And because it's all about timing, it was kind of throwing us off.
Okay. And then going on to like the level system there, you said that there are 5 levels in OlliOlli?
Yes, yeah. Well, there's actually, to clarify that, there's 5 stages. And there's going to be predefined levels in each of those. Okay. We're in alpha at the moment, so how many levels there'll be, we don't quite know. But we're level designing at the moment, which is obviously an exciting part. We've built the engine, built the level editor now. So now it's just kind of what are the best combo opportunities, what's the best level design, and also now we're starting to think about in how we teach the player and how we upskill the player as well, and how that kind of balancing levels as it gets, towards the end of the game.
Will we be able to kind of create our own levels, or is that strictly going to be like a customizing your character type of deal?
Yeah, customizing your character very much, so you can be from any part of the planet you want and wear any sort of clothes you want as well. So that's definitely going to be in there. We're just kind of thinking about ideas at the moment, what we could do in the future. So for this version, no, but we're having so much fun with the level editor at the moment. So I wouldn't want to promise anything, but down the line we'd love to release the level editor for people to have a play with. Because again, it's kind of, the game is all about trying to emulate what it's like to skateboard, and when you find a ramp or something like that, and then you move the ramp around with your mates, and it's about where can we position this ramp to get the best jump and get the best experience on this particular street that we're on at the moment. And if we can kind of emulate that within the game, we think that would be really nice, and also with the kind of sharing capabilities on PSN as well. We've got some ideas about how you'd be able to kind of build something and then share it with the community, get your friends to play it, rate it, etc., that kind of thing. But not on Vita, sadly.
Right. So I guess that kind of eliminates like.
But what we give you will be awesome.
Functionality.
Do you know what? At the moment, I hasn't really kind of thought about that. No, that's something I'll take back to the team, actually. As I say, we're literally in alpha at the moment, so we've just managed to get all building blocks together that we need, and now really is the time when we can start getting creative.
Kind of sharing your tricks with your friends and kind of just showing your friends, oh, hey, I'm progressing this much, or just look at me when I was a beginner, and then look at me where I've come now.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. Well, I suppose to a degree we're kind of emulating that in the daily grind mode. So the daily grind is going to be a small spot, possibly from one of the levels or something a bespoke thing that we make ourselves. It's going to be a series of ramps, grinds, hubbers, etc. And on each one, we open it up for 24 hours, and you can practice that as many times as you want. But you only get one go live, and it's that live go that's when your score counts, and that score will go up to the
Okay, that's
daily
actually
leaderboard.
sounds
So I
like a lot
suppose
of
in that
fun.
kind of sense, you can kind of see your progress. Yes, and again, it's that skateboarding thing, like you practice something, on your own, and then you meet up with your mates, and you're like, oh, I just nailed that trick, and they're like, all right, then do it. And and you have to perform. If you don't do it, you slam. There was the
Yeah, I saw
recently
that.
that 16-year-old kid did a 1080 in competition. And it was the
Hmm.
first time, yeah, amazing. And Tony Hawk was in the audience, just looking amazed. Um, and that he must have nailed that so many times in practice, but he had to do it on the day, and that was his shot to do it, and he did it. And that's just such a kind of whatever you're doing in life, it's such a great feeling when you get to do it at the moment you're meant
Okay,
to.
and that's like gonna
So
be
hopefully the daily
obviously
grind
it's
kind of
gonna be a
brings a bit
daily
of that
thing,
to the
but do you
game.
guys know how long you'll be supporting that?
That's a very good question. What we're doing at the moment, they're going to be kind of predetermined from the game. So it might be you're skating a level and you do a cool bit. There'll be, like I say, grinds, hubbers, etc., and then that will appear as a daily grind. So we think with the amount of levels we're making, and also the bespoke ones, there's going to be a big selection of daily grinds. So I don't know how long it'll be before they might recycle and we have to come up with some more. But I mean, at first, there'll be a hell of a lot of
Okay.
different spots,
And
different grinds, sorry,
in case
daily
you guys
grinds to
do
be
decide to
grinding on.
add more daily grinds or add any more levels, will that be in the form of a patch, or can we expect some kind of post-launch DLC?
Okay, well, we're tying some DLC up at the moment, but the difference to this is it's actually all the proceeds that we get as a developer are actually going to be going to a charity that work with, it's called Skateistan, and it's a charity that works with kids in Afghanistan and some other kind of war-torn countries, and they're bringing skateboarding to those places. So kind of teaching kids, engaging them in positive activities. So that's potentially going to be a bit of DLC as well. But other than that, at the moment, again, we're not sure. We're just kind of focusing on,
Okay,
let's
wow,
get
that's
that initial
actually not
game out
heard
there with those
of
stages.
like putting the proceeds towards a charity. That's very nice, especially one that kind of contributes to your ideal.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it seemed like a natural fit to us. So it seemed like a cool thing to do, and the guys at
Okay, awesome.
Skateistan are really,
Alright,
it's
I believe
something we're
that
looking
is
forward to
all the
doing
time
actually.
for today that we have. So once again, Tom, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to trying out OlliOlli in the future.
Cheers. No, thank you for your time. Good to speak to you.